Hi, my loves. It's Joy Milady Girl from Around the Way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I was coming to you all with some commentary about something that I saw. I want to say I saw it like last week, but here I am today, girl. I'm still here. Before I hop into it, though, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you enjoy this type of commentary. We talk about popular and cultural events and apply them in a way that helps us shape and reframe our paradigm so that way we can live the best life we deserve. Now, listen, I saw this and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's get into it. There's been a lot of tensions and a lot of things just happening by way of the administration. And it just changes the dynamic. It just changes the political landscape. It emboldens people to continue to spew hate. And so I wanted to talk about the insidious nature that is racism and what that shows up like and what that looks like and what we can do to continue to strive to live our best life. All right. So there is apparently a community of whites only who are like they're living in the Ozarks. They have their land, which apparently is like a desolate kind of land somewhere that nobody really wants to live. And the people in the town, um, they feel a way about it, but they know that it could be dangerous. The land there, they don't really want. They structure it in a way by a simple LLC, and people could buy shares into this property. But this is a white only town. Now, this is different than in Sundown Town because they are choosing to go back to, I want to say, like Nordic values and European values and all of these Eastern European kind of mystical ways, right? Because they are engaging in a whole bunch of um, ritualistic and I want to say uncivilized ways, but when we have white men who are on lands with children and women that are relatively unmonitored and not surveilled and not regulated, we always know that in a patriarchal society, there is room for perversion and all types of things to happen in this area. Now, I'm going to play a couple of clips that I found to be interesting, and we're going to get into it.
And that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture. Yeah, not just white, but white American.
White American culture is dangerous, okay? Let's be very clear. Y'all on this isolated land with these people, be very careful because white men always need someone to oppress, right? And I think it's so interesting he's saying white American culture. However, this land and this whole idea, this project of return to the land is very, very, very deep rooted in, again, Nordic values, Eastern European mysticism, and that's not white American.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, it's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
And honestly, they can stay there. Honestly, they can honestly and truly stay there. I'm not saying this as someone who is opposed to separation, as opposed to integration or people being able to make community for each other. Because let's be clear, I'm big on community. And I think that these kind of people have disillusioned themselves to feel like a minority in a situation when literally the system is built on their prospering and they have convinced themselves that somehow or another they need to disengage from a system that was literally built on and around them. Just we don't have enough power, so let me go ahead and assert this in a different way and build a compound in the middle of the Ozarks. When you think about it from that standpoint, good for you. Stay there as far as I'm concerned. But I do want to mention how he is asking about, so do you believe in segregation? He's like, no, I believe in free association. However, we're here in the middle of the Ozarks. He's not necessarily saying yes. He's not necessarily saying no. This is very, very, very common for white people to do because they play on the semantics of what, in fact, they're actually doing. So you're not really answering the question, and it's a really low level form of manipulation and gaslighting because he's playing on the words of it all. No, well, I'm just doing this. Well, I'm not asking what you're doing. I'm asking, do you understand and see how this can be viewed as separation or segregation? He's like, oh yeah, that's not what I'm like, but that is what you're doing. They always tend to play on the words and use semantics to cover up their nastiness, period. Okay, so let's get into the next clip of some lily white women who are basically talking about why they decided to move into this white only land and what it means for them. Because let's be clear, white women have always been complicit and have always been in support of this type of behavior.
Like, it should at least exist.
Yeah.
Like, do people really think that we should never be able to choose our neighbors?
It wouldn't be controversial for any other racial group to do the same thing.
I think it'd be quite controversial.
Well,
The reason it may not be controversial is if it's a person or a marginalized group who is trying to escape persecution, which is usually what happened, which is why communities who were built around being in contact and community and having similarity and familiarity with a neighbor, because otherwise you would be persecuted, you would be rummaged, you would be, raped and everything like this. Okay? So again, this illusion that they need some sort of special privilege, and if it was anyone else, they'd be perfectly fine. I mean, where it's so. I think this is just a really, really, really bad case of people think like the grass is always greener on the other side. There's always an issue. Literally, this country is designed for these people. I don't understand. It's like having the lottery ticket and being like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go into my corner and try and dig for oil. Why are you digging for oil when you literally have the lottery ticket? Like, that's so crazy. But it is the illustration of how far people are willing to go to protect their values and how disillusioned they are, and how hateful they are. They are so hateful that they are literally just walking away and just up and moving in the middle of Ozark. Like, what? That's so funny to me. Like, you are so sure, you are so rested on. Like, I'm sure there are so many sundown towns you can move into. It's like, nope, we're too extreme. We need to have our own entire situation altogether. I mean, why not join the Mormons? Why not join the Amish? You understand what I'm saying? Amish usually never have black people. This is fueled by MAGA rhetoric, and this is fueled by the hatred that is being spewed in the political landscape, and now we can act on it without facing public scrutiny or even surveillance by intelligence groups, because we're fine. We're following, Christian nationalism, so to speak. Girl, let's get into another clip to see what these folks is talking about. Because I mean, honestly, I think I've had enough. We'll see. Let's see what the next clip is talking about.
You have to be a PMA member to live here.
Yeah.
So you have to be someone of European heritage.
The group's logo, based on a Nordic rune, draws on that heritage. It is the PMA that the group believes makes this all legal. Once members have been vetted on ethnicity and other grounds, they can buy shares in the Limited Liability Company, or LLC. Those shares translate to acres of land that they can build on. Peter Seri is the brains behind the legal side of things.
You know what? I'm not entirely mad at this, y'all. I'm not even entirely mad at the breakdown. If that's what they want to do, girl, I think we should take notes. It's time for us to take notes and do this in a way that we have something to fall back on. And it's, it is what it is. I think Earn Your Leisure is doing something like this in Ghana right now, where they're like developing over 300 acres or something along the lines. I need to do more research on it. Y'all excuse me about this fire that goes by, but I mean, listen, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think now that I'm thinking about it, shit, you know what? Hell yeah. You know what? Hell yeah.
Civil Rights Act is there for a reason, and this is a way around it.
Yeah,
Do you think it'll survive contact with the legal system, the courts, if it came to that?
hopefully.
Do you think it's racist or not? Do you reject that term? Do you embrace it?
I don't know about that term. I mean, people use it in a lot of different ways. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the internet who would call me racist. I don't really.
See, and this is where they lose me, because they're not keeping it real. It completely is rooted in race, but I think that he's not able to say that for legal reasons. He doesn't want to face legal persecution, so he's going to try to refrain from using any type of hate speech whatsoever. And that is the part that makes it like, girl, come on now. If y'all was just standing on business, we out of there. You whatever they want to say, I much rather prefer that. But they're trying to make sure that they are able to stay within legal bounds and not say anything that's too inflammatory. But we can clearly know, we can clearly see. The parts I didn't mention was how the women are responsible for the cooking and the gardening. They basically have a whole bunch of free labor. They're all working together to work on their projects, which I'm not completely mad at. I think that when I said something for us to fall back on, I think that it's nothing wrong with people being franchising and enterprising and being in connection and community with one another. Um, Instead of talking about people, oh, they're doing this to get away from us, how about we focus on what we need to do so that way we can build up in the way that we need to. And like looking for a celebrity to do it, looking for a political moment to do it, looking for a political party to do it, it's not a thing. It needs to start with you and your homegirl, and y'all get a crib and y'all make it do, y'all only rent to certain people. Like, we have to start being more intentional with how we utilize our wealth and how we spend and how we do those things. I'm not completely all the way upset by this. I just think that the gaslighting of this is not rooted in race, like, that's pissing me off. But it is what it is. I want to know what you think about this. Would you be okay if you knew that an all white land, an all white town was being built somewhere near you? Would you give it or not? And what do you think about Black and brown people enterprising in this way? Specifically foundational Black Americans, because I feel like Black and brown is a little bit too widely spread nowadays. You understand what I'm saying? But if you with it, you with it. If you know, you know. Okay? Drop that in the comments. Let me know what you think. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.